Hey guys, I've gotten some good progress done during April. Most of it's in the building stages, so I'm going to show those in a separate section of the video. But right now, you can see I've almost got all these tanks done. This one is almost completely finished. I just need to weather the this disc here. And I still have, let's see, this guy, he's actually almost all the way painted. I just need to work the details on his wrists and pull up a few highlights, but he's mostly done, and then his backpack needs to be finished up. But you know, for a Tech Priest Engine Seer, that's not too bad. Yeah, he looks like a cool dude. Chop you with his axe and then fix your toaster. But I did run into some lulls in painting and building this month, mostly due to it was spring break. The kids were out of school for a week, and then we went out of town for Easter to visit my parents, and went to a church camp for a weekend, which was interesting. The kids loved it, but my wife and I were a little about it, because my wife was the doctor on call, so she pretty much doctored all these kids who were too foolish to not climb the rocks and fall off of them. But anyway, you know, got this one done. This guy's all weathered, the upper body and the lower body. You know, he's standing here on his cool dynamic base, looking out across the broken sands of Laerderon 4 or Laerneroth 4. I can't remember the planet I'm going to put them on. But yeah, I've got this down. I just dry brushed this. I did this base last night. And figured out that I had I made one tiny mistake on this, in that I put the wrong wash on there, which was my fault, because here is the correct one, burnt umber, that I was going to put on it, and accidentally put sepia on it, and it doesn't seem like a big difference, but this is just slightly lighter. But to me, it's not big enough to where I'm going to go back and redo this, or go and redo all the other guys that I've done as well. But like I said, most of what I did this past month was building, because I still have all these. I've weathered some of the outside of the stuff, but I still need to paint the interior for the lasers here. These guys are all weathered. They're actually gloss coated for the enamel wash, which is the dark brown wash for green vehicles from MiG. But the enamel wash, coupled with the mineral spirits to get rid of the excess wash, really does a number on this orange paint. Like it pulls it off pretty easily. So I've got to be careful. What I really need to do is take my time and get my airbrush out and do an acrylic gloss coat over it, instead of just being lazy and using Tester's gloss coat, because the mineral spirits eat through it faster than they would the acrylic paint. But overall, I'm happy with the way the tanks are turning out. And honestly, once these are done, I think these, and then the Bellistari Iron Striders, whatever, the walking chickens, will be the hardest to paint, because they have so many little greevils and nitpickers on them. And I found for this that the white is actually easier to paint, because I just use the airbrush, and I use the P3 Minoth whites, Minoth base white, and then Minoth highlight, white highlight, and just run those through the airbrush, and it makes a nice white combo, and to the point where my Kastellan robots, instead of being orange, will be white with orange hands. But anyway, I'll show you those guys in just a second, so hold on. Hey guys, and here is what I have gotten built for this past month. The 4 Kastellan robots, they don't look like much, but they were a lot to build. They were, let's see, took me about a week to get all 4 of these, maybe about 10 days to get all 4 of these built and primed. The biggest thing was figuring out the magnets for the hands, because if you look, you can really look and see on this one that magnet is not exactly centered into there, and I had to use a little bit of green stuff to make sure it stayed in, and then really carved on the side of it to make sure it stayed, it could fit into the punchy hand, or also the shooty hand for these guys. But that was all magnets there. I had to use magnets on these things so I can switch out, phosphor blaster versus heavy flamer, which is that phosphor blaster? I can't remember. But the shooty gun versus the heavy flamer, and all sorts of stuff, different things, and building these and making sure I didn't screw it up, because this kit is what, $50 for 2 robots and a cybernetic data smith, and you fuck one of them up, excuse my language, you screw one of them up, and then you got to pay $50 to get a new one, or really get good with green stuff or with repairing things, etc., etc. But yeah, I built all 4 of those. Mostly I built them while my kids were doing their homework. I would go down and sit and watch them do their homework, and I would build my robots, and they would ask me questions, and I would say, well, I'll tell you that once you have your homework done. And which could bring me on to another rant about why do kindergartners now have homework, but I won't get in on that. But yeah, this was a lot of fun to build. These to me are interesting things. I was actually watching Dr. Faust build his Kastellan robots, and then what was, I think it was his Imperial Knight for his Mechanicum army that really sold me on the Mechanicum and made me want to build an army for it. Because I don't know about you guys, but I'm a much better purchaser of models than I am a general. And so I can buy lots of cool models and get them at least assembled or sometimes painted much easier than I can win a battle. And so for me, these models, because they're cool, they'll be in my army. If they ever fall out of style, or they're just not good enough to win any battles, or even now, if they just prove that they're not very effective, I'll still put them in my army because I like them. And if you have these ancient tech, as these Kastellan robots are supposed to be, they're ancient, wise tech of awesomeness from the ancient times. And, they're revered weapons of the Omnicia. And, why would you not put them in your army if you had them? But anyway, I got those guys built. I got the Tech Priest the Data Smith built. I left his arms off because there's all this detail in here that needs to be painted, and I'll scrape the primer off and paint his arms, especially if I'm going to go through and paint his robes orange. Get that done. And I did another Tech Priest Dominus. I actually tweaked my list a little bit, and so I may not even use the engine seer that I built and got painted. I may use 2 of these guys and then Belisarius Call, because his bonuses to re-rolling are amazing. And I already have the model. I don't have to buy it, so it gives me an excuse to build him and paint him orange and white. So he's from the Tesla Sea of Mars. But anyway, the Kastellan robots, they're cool. I mean, they have some cool rules. They've got some cool things. And enjoyed building them. We'll probably enjoy painting them. I'm going to paint them all white, and I'm going to paint the guns, and probably, say, the toes of their feet orange, just to give them a little bit of color. But I'm going to paint all the rest of it white, mainly because the white is so much easier to paint than orange. Because with the orange, I can't run the... Let's see, where is it? Nope, not that one. Nope, not that one. Here we go. This doesn't run through the airbrush very well, and I need this on there before I put the Troll Slayer orange on, and this has to be brushed on again because it just doesn't go through the airbrush very well, whereas the P3 white goes through so good. I think I said that earlier in the first part. But for these, I built them to where any of the guns can go onto any of the robots, and those little magnets will hold them on, so they look like Wild West gunslingers or really mean pinchy guys. And if you put them on to here, just pull that magnet out. Nope. Okay, good. Put it onto here, like this, and then he looks like a cool guy. Doesn't look at explosions. I actually didn't mean to have 2 of them with their arms raised, but that's what happened. So it'll work out. Because then they look like, if you put these hands on them, they look like that guy at prom that nobody wants to dance with. But anyway, that's what I got built. The other stuff's what I got painted. And again, poor old Gregor, he still needs to get finished up, all those little details. But anyway, hope you guys are doing well. I've had a good month. The kids have been lots of fun. the little girl's getting big and unmanageable, because, you know, when you almost turn 2, you are in fact a grown-up in the minds of an almost 2-year-old. Probably also in the minds of a 20-year-old as well. But anyway, I hope you guys are having fun. Look forward to seeing you guys' projects, and look forward to actually putting these guys on the table not too far from now. See you guys later. Adios.